Hi, welcome to the Commercial Gas Engineer channel. Just going to look at a diagram and trace the pipework in a plant room. I hope you're able to follow. Pause the video at any time. First of all, starting off with the mains service. So we've got the mains service going into a cold water storage tank. This is a view inside. You can see the ball valve. You've got your overflows. And you have your high level and low level sensor and more overflow pipes and more high and low level sensors. There's two sections to this cold water cylinder, as you can see, and here are the outlets. They make their way into a booster pump set. This is the suction side of the booster pump set, and this is the local isolator for the electricity. They have valves on them either side. You can see just below here the direction arrow of the pump, and here is a vent point. There is another vent point here that can be used. And then these are the details. There are two different pump details that you require when changing it. This is the pressure that the pump is operating at. And then the other side of the pump, the discharge side, has two expansion vessels on each pump. So you had the inverter there. I believe they were hydrovars on top of the pump. This is an electromag. I believe that this is a scale reducer. So here's the pipework after it leaves that scale reducer, and it goes into the building. This now is the heating flow. There's a double regulating valve, a crane double regulating valve, and then you have a air and dirt separator, which is in bad condition. Some butterfly valve, and then above that, this is the butterfly valve, and then you're going down here, and you've got a strainer there. You've got your differentials here on this pump, your pressure differentials, and then you've got your secondary heat inside here, and that's the pressure. This is a pipework behind the boiler. Pipework makes its way behind the boiler, and then this is the clipping system used. There's some gas pipe behind the boiler, and then we're still tracing our heating pipework. Heating return and the heating flow are side by side. They make their way up and go into the building. More butterfly valves, and they are labeled up. You can look for the numbers on the chart later. And pressure sensor there with an isolation valve. We have a lot of places to drain down and tap in. Heating return with a double regulating valve. This is behind the boilers, and we've got sensors there. We have our temperature sensors, more sensors, and butterfly valves and strainers. And then this is the pump, the primary pump, and a hydrovar inverter. Your pressure differentials. And then this is the pressure in the system. And a lagged double regulating valve there. There's many points to tap into this system. Have a butterfly valve. So that was the return there. This is behind the boiler with your secondary pumps over there. And then if you look on the chart and pause it at any point that you so choose, there are numbers of valves and so on. Here's the gas supply. So we're tracing the gas supply away from the boiler. And that's a tapping point. You could probably purge from there. And there's the gas supply. It goes to a CHP, that's combined heat and power. And then it's a Bosch CHP. You have a flange there. And the gas pipe is clipped well, nice and secure. Valve 28, and then you got the regulator, the gas solenoid. And on the gas solenoid you have test points, and this is the pipe coming into the building. So there's your test points on the gas solenoid. And you have a dosing pot there in bad condition. And then the pipework comes round, the heating, flow and return. Then it makes its way into a thermal store. Thermal store has got several sensors on it. This is the make of the thermal store. And the temperature of the thermal store. AAV on top, automatic air vent with an isolation valve. A temperature sensor at the bottom. So that's our pipework coming out of our thermal store. Another temperature sensor at the top of the thermal store. These sensors go back to the BMS control panel display where you can see what you're getting from the sensors. Okay, so here's our CHP unit, our Bosch unit. There's our dosing pot. There's our thermal store. And you can pause on the chart. So there's the numbers and the sizes and what you have. So you have the incoming mains. And we have the quick fill connected up in order to top up the system. Remember to cap those when you see them due to water regulations. And then that was the pressurization unit, that blue unit, but we'll go back to that in a moment. So just tracing our pipework round. So this is the pipework that goes round. It goes down and then comes back up and then goes to the expansion vessel. There's an AAV there at a high point, which is good. And then there's an isolation valve, a drain off, and then this makes its way around the expansion vessel. This is into the pressurization unit and out. And this is the pressure of the pressurization unit set to 4.04 bar. And this is the display of the CHP. Its statistics. And this is a look from further out at the thermal store and the gas solenoid and the pipework as it's the flow and return. This is behind the CHP unit to see the pipework. This is the gas supply behind the side of the boiler. This is behind the boilers. Double reg valve. These are the pumps, primary pumps, and then your secondary pumps. Your dosing pot again. Sensor, temperature sensor. This is your scale reducer. This is your booster set, your cold water booster set. Your hydro vase on top. Okay, thank you for joining me. Until next time, please leave comments in the section below. Bye bye bye.